As I started to say, I'm Brian Kilmeade, and welcome to a special edition of Jesse Watters Live. We are learning of a major development in the federal probe against Hunter Biden. You have a senior IRS whistleblower has just revealed there's been a cover-up in what appears to be the first son's tax evasion case. 5 years in the making. And this IRS whistleblower says he has the receipts to show, quote, preferential treatment coming out of what would be the federal prosecutor's office in Delaware. Now, the whistleblower's attorney is already speaking out.
My client wants to come forward to Congress. He's ready to be questioned about what he knows and what he experienced under the proper legal protections.
Attorney Mark Lytle's client is a supervisory special agent at the IRS who's prepared to tell Congress the investigation he's been working on has been hampered by what he thinks is special treatment.
Typical steps that a law enforcement investigator would take were compromised because of political considerations.
CBS News has learned the investigation the whistleblower worked on is about Hunter Biden.
The things he's been through are very well documented in emails and other communications with the Department of Justice.
Okay, the Biden's getting special treatment. Who would have thought that? And this whistleblower isn't stopping there. He claims he also has proof that a senior political appointee lied to Congress.
A career law enforcement officer who knows the right way to do an investigation, when he hears a senior politically appointed official at the Department of Justice under sworn testimony say something, and in his mind it's directly contradictory to what he knows is going on with the investigation.
And what he can prove with documents.
What he can prove with documents, he wants to come forward.
Yeah, he's doing it the right way. Right now, all the fingers are pointing to Biden's Attorney General, Merrick Garland, who recently went under oath to say that the Department of Justice has kept politics out of the Hunter Biden case.
He has been advised that he is not to be denied anything that he needs, and if that were to happen, it should ascend through the department's ranks, and I have not heard anything from that office to suggest that they are not able to do everything that the U.S. Attorney wants to do.
He's certainly an inspiring figure. Meanwhile, did the Attorney General just get caught lying under oath? Are we heading that direction? It looks like it, but the White House wasted no time coming out today to clean up the mess.
Is the president confident that his attorney general has upheld all the ethical obligations here when it comes to this investigation?
Again, the president has always been clear during the campaign, during his presidency, that the Department of Justice should have independence. They should not be politicized, and they should be able to do their job independently, essentially.
Notice that was not a Fox reporter. So how can you say this case has not been politicized? Everyone's picking up on it. We've been seeing nothing but stonewalling for years now. Remember, in 2020, 51 intel officers came out to label Hunter's laptop, before the election, by the way, as Russian disinformation. Then, when they were caught lying, they had to backtrack.
Do you regret signing on to the letter?
Oh, absolutely not, because those words are still true.
Do you think
it has all the classic earmarks?
Of an election?
Oh, absolutely not. No,
Even though it wasn't true. It had the classic earmarks, but it wasn't true.
What is not true?
That it was Russian disinformation.
That's not what we said in the letter. Read the actual letter, and we said we do not know if this is Russian disinformation.
It has all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation.
Exactly. The difference between an information campaign and a disinformation campaign and a misinformation campaign. It's not my fault if people don't look up definitions.
I know.
Hey, David, next time the answer to Brett is, I'm sorry. Now, this week, former acting CIA Director Mike Morrell unwound some things for us, admitting that now Secretary of State Tony Blinken, then an aide to Biden, told him the laptop was a Russian plant, which prompted him to collect signatures from 50 respected or previously respected intel officers, adding credibility to the claim the laptop was fake and then we had an election. So, does it look like the president has been hands off on this investigation? And how about this? Hunter's laptop repairman says he gave the FBI Hunter's laptop back in 2019. What did they do with it? Nothing. We don't even know if they know where it is. We only found out about it a year later. Fast forward to October 2020, after the New York Post got its hands on it. And they did the right thing. They published it. Then the story was censored. Now, thanks to the Twitter files, we know the FBI had their fingerprints all over it. But it doesn't stop there. A former Obama-Biden White House stenographer, we know about him now, Mike McCormick, is also saying that the then VP, Joe Biden, flew to Ukraine to push for fracking contracts in 2014, just days after Hunter signed on to Burisma, the gas company. He calls it a kickback scheme, and he has proof of it because he was on the plane with all of them. But the FBI and the federal prosecutor in Delaware are ignoring it.
I went to the FBI and filled out their witness tip line. There's a website. You fill out all these tips, these web directions. I submitted it. If you lie to the FBI when you're submitting a tip like that, you can go to jail. I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. Joe Biden is lying. He's a criminal. And I've got the evidence. If they put me in front of the grand jury that's right now seated in Wilmington with Special Prosecutor David Weiss, my testimony becomes the evidence that will put him in jail or will lead to his impeachment.
Now, we know why the IRS whistleblower says the Department of Justice is giving the Biden family preferential treatment. Can't say we are surprised, but it does look like the walls may be finally closing in on President Biden and his family. It's why hundreds of attorneys are now threatening the IRS whistleblower, putting out this statement today. Get this. Quote, "It appears this IRS agent has committed a crime. It is a felony for an IRS agent to improperly disclose information about an ongoing tax investigation." I thought we celebrated whistleblowers in this country, not put them in jail. But the one man who's taking these allegations seriously is Oversight Chairperson, Chairman, James Comer, who promises to get to the bottom of it.
The reason that nothing's been done to Hunter Biden is because it's not just about Hunter Biden. That's right. It's about the entire family. It's about the brothers, the sister-in-laws, the sister, the nieces, the nephews, the grandchildren. They were all involved in this. And I think the Department of Justice and the intelligence community scratching their head like, what a mess. Maybe it'll just go away. And I got news for the American people. It's not going away. It's going to come to light. And I think that a lot of people that were supposed to be checks and balances along the way in the IRS and the DOJ are going to have a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah, they didn't check. They sure do.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson tonight.